Tonight's agenda is Japanese, ABA, and biology lectures. First on my agenda is a polite behavior analysis. Charles Darwin. So it's definitely a good idea for me to just redo this vlog and reset everything. Buenas noches, mundo. Esta es C-Line, and today I am going to take you guys on a little study vlog. Tonight's agenda is Japanese, ABA, and biology lectures. Last night I filmed a study vlog, but it didn't entirely go as well as I thought, and it was kind of spontaneously planned in a way, but filming this tonight, this was a little more pre-planned earlier today, and now I have a better plan on how I'm going to do this study vlog, you know what I'm saying? So, without further ado, let's go! Or should I say, vámonos. First on my agenda is a polite behavior analysis. This class has laid out to me a whole new and useful perspective on human behavior. And the packbacks where we ask questions and answer each other, they're all so insightful. This week we learned about stimulus control, basic stimulus control, where we started with stimulus discrimination and stimulus delta, basically right versus wrong, respectively. Stimulus discrimination is a stimulus paired with a reinforcer. Now say you have 4 pictures of animals on your table and you're teaching a kid. You say, choose a pig, and that kid chooses a pig. So the pig is stimulus discrimination, and the other 3 animals that are not a pig, they're called stimulus deltas. This question I'm answering asks why a teacher uses a green hat to allow kids to speak and a red hat to not allow kids to speak to regulate disruptive behaviors. This question I'm answering here is kind of based off of that information alone. Since I grew up with my mother using sign language with me, I felt this was really easy to do. So much so that I answered this in less than 25 minutes. So yeah, it was definitely a good idea for me to just redo this vlog and reset everything, because this is still happening. If I lose some sleep tonight, I won't be surprised. Just be careful when you're having coffee in the evening. Well, have it earlier in the evening is preferable, but be careful when you're having it in the early evening, because you might lose some sleep. Tomorrow is yet another day of school, and you know what I mean. Just be careful with coffee in the evening. And now it is time for the lecture. Well, not lecture, but now it's time for the slideshows. And time to get out my notebook. It's time for me to put on some fucking music, cause music makes the study sessions go round. That is, when you don't have lyrics. These highlighters are super fun to use, especially when I'm color coding for key terms, important stuff, and headlines for each slide that I am looking at. I only use the orange highlighter for chapter headlining. I use the blue for section headlines, pink for key terms, and yellow for important stuff. Last year, as shown in my study vlog for last semester, I used multi-colored pens for each notebook that I had for each course. Turns out it's not as accessible as I would like, so I went back to using highlighters. This is the floor where I study for most of my time on campus. This floor is where I definitely get coffee and sit if I hadn't had coffee on a particular day, you know? And the seatings are so versatile. You get curved seats, high tables, the big chairs, and those little solo desks over there. And the upper floor here is pretty similar. You'll get some of the same furniture, but they're placed differently. And some of the furniture is different from areas on top of one another, if you know what I mean. But there's also the little desk nooks right on top of the nooks that I kind of showed you guys on the third floor. But the difference is you have big ass window views on the top floor. I've just been sitting here often because of the biology cafe. There's more people around here. On a couple nights where I feel some amount of stress, I'll go into the bathroom on the right and I'll start interpretive dancing, put my phone down on the sink and just start dancing. I think I was originally going to work on more developmental disabilities, but this morning I finished a reflection of a program that I was supposed to attend for the course. So I finished the reflection this morning, and then later on I just thought to myself, I'm getting pretty tired of the developmental disabilities class today, because just another thing that I did was watch videos of this website called the Autism Navigator. I attended a clinic yesterday, which is a story for another day that's probably not to be told by my preference, because it was complex. So that's why I decided that tonight's agenda was going to be applied behavior analysis first, definitely pack back first, because what I am a little more stressed about the most, I will get done first, because the sooner I get it done, the bigger of a sigh of relief that I will emit. Next, I will do the biology lecture on evolution. I actually learned some pretty cool things about it. Evolution. I should start playing now. Where was I? Sorry. No. One of my favorite things that I learned this module, for instance, is that when we have lice, we get some pesticide or some resistant to kill off the lice, right? But the lice over time have evolved to have genes that are more robust against these chemicals, that only most of them die, and the ones that remain on our heads are still going to lay eggs and spread all over our head, so we're still itching the fuck up. And I want to put a little disclaimer right now in case this freaks you out, but I also learned that 2 billion people in the world out of the 10 billion in the world carry tuberculosis. What? Charles Darwin. Yeah, some people are gonna get mad. But it's good. It's good. As you grow up, the things that you thought were a little stigmatizing to talk about, you just start learning the nuances of all that shit. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the cool part about life, because when you grow up, life is so black and white. That's one of the reasons why I left religion. These are frigate birds, and what I typed out from the lecture is that they blow out their balloons to attract the females. That's what she said. I also want to explain this as well. When I am studying this semester, I have obtained the ability to use 25-minute rules for, let's say, an ABA. I've used the 25-minute rule for each component of notes and discussions that are part of the course. So 25 minutes, let's say for instance, of PowerPoint slides. Next 25 minutes for PackBag, which is a discussion tool on Canvas used to ask one question and back it up with a citation. And then we do 2 responses to other questions and back it up with citation, because for psychology, you need a lot of citations. What you know about me, doing ABA, developmental disabilities, and creative art therapies. And then the next set of ABA that I do on another time in the same day, because it's online, I do 25 minutes of notes, and then 25 minutes of reading the textbook and adding additional slides. I can interchange those 50-minute sessions among the morning or / afternoon into the evening, because that will depend on my personal stakes, if I really need to get some PackBag done, or if I really need to get some notes done first, or textbook notes first. So those will interchange. And then another thing is that when I'm watching biology lectures, I started watching 1 to 2 minutes of a lecture before pausing instead of watching 5 to 10 seconds of a lecture before pausing. So I elongate and listen as attentively as I can, and then go back if I need to listen to it again. So after 1 to 2 minutes, I will pause the video and ask myself, okay, Caroline, what did you learn? I will I will type down the information, as much information as I've retained. And I think it's really beneficial for me to manage my ADHD symptoms. So I've been really coming up with study plans, especially for psychology courses, but that extends to my biology class and Japanese class as well. And I have been banking on this semester to be my best, because last semester, this past spring semester, was arguably the worst. But last fall semester was my best completed semester, but this semester, I want to top that with the fall semester of last year, considerably try to outperform that fall semester, because I'm always growing. I always want to come up with these study plans. You know, I'm living in the best dorm of my college. I have the coolest study spots that I can go to interchangeably. I have the coolest classes. I'm very interested in these classes, and sometimes they annoy me a little bit, but I have been through some of those downs, but I have always lived through them, always survived. So that's what I want to bank on. That's what I want to bank on this to be my best semester, and or one of my best semesters. And now, last but not least on my agenda is Japanese. I got a little bit of a quiz due tonight. This highlighting trick that I did helps me to retain the Japanese information much better. I've learned Japanese in the past, and I know a good bit of the material from prior learning, from the past couple of times that I tried learning Japanese. This highlighting trick is what I also use to help others in my class. I've had one person, she dropped out of the class, but I've had one person who I tutored twice, and we've been talking about it prior to me unofficially tutoring her. So I was this unofficial tutor for a while before she dropped out, which was really sad. But yeah, we still talked about how I can still send her some more Japanese information. But I am going to head back to this because I gotta take my quiz soon. You know what I mean. So as it turns out, I thought I had a quiz on Canvas today, but those quizzes are the ones that you have to take on this external tool. This is the external tool that we use, Grammar Video for Genki, and we are here right now. So I have already taken this quiz. Alright, let's get the hell out of here. Another way. I have this 15-minute rule where I pack my stuff 2 minutes before, 15 minutes before the next hour. And through the 15 minutes, I can easily transition from one place to another. I think I've integrated this rule for the past couple of years, even before 2024, when I started creating a routine that has more room for self-care. I transitioned 15 minutes from the science complex to my dorm so I can start my night routine 2 hours before bedtime, because I want to make room for the free time for an hour and a half left after my shower and skincare. Excuse me. Well, I believe that'll be it for today's video. This study session was less chaotic, like I hoped, so I'm pretty satisfied. Couple of bumps in the road, but overall I'm satisfied. One upside is I could get a little more prepared for any future Japanese classes, because yesterday I didn't really focus much on Japanese because of a clinic that I visited yesterday morning. A lot of things about developmental disabilities. A case study was due last night, and just kind of overrode my 10-minute break, which is another long story. But anyway, well, if you like this video, please give this a like. It does help the algorithm. And if you want to leave all your thoughts about this video from me, put it in the comments. And if you want to see more of my videos, please consider subscribing to this channel. And if you don't want to miss any of my future videos, make sure to hit the notification bell so you never do that. So this was a great study session, better than last night, I admit, but I love you all. I will see y'all in the future video. See line out. Adios.